Praise the Lord, everyone. Greetings to you in the name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ on behalf of our Catherine International Ministries. So let us indwell upon our verse of the day, Exposition, which is taken from 2 Chronicles, 16th chapter, 7 through 9. At that time, Hanani the seer came to Asa, king of Judah, and said to him, "Because you relied on the king of Aram and not on the Lord your God, the army of the king of Aram has escaped from your hand. Were not the Cushites and Libyans a mighty army with great numbers of chariots and horsemen? Yet, when you relied on the Lord, he delivered them into your hand. For the eyes of the Lord range throughout the earth to strengthen those whose hearts are fully committed to him. You have done a foolish thing, and from now on, you will be at war." So the fascinating thing which we can derive from this particular verse is, you see, success in our eyes may not be the ultimate, but everything must be acceptable in the sight of our mighty God and his will. మన యొక్క ధ్యానాంశం కనుక చూసినట్టయితే, ఇహలోకపు ఉద్దేశాలు ఆలోచనలు ఆధారం చేసుకొనక దేవుని చిత్తము మరియు ఆయన అంగీకారము ఉండుటే ప్రధానమైనటువంటిది, ఎంతో ముఖ్యమైనటువంటివి. Well, I would like to dwell upon an episode in which transpired in the life of Asa. See, he was one of the good kings of Judah. He restored the temple and encouraged the nation to return to worship of Jehovah. While he was earnestly working on the temple, God gave him peace for about 10 years. But when an enemy finally did come back to attack, he relied upon God and completely defeated them just because he had set his heart to seek the Lord. Well, after Asa had reigned about 35 years, the king of Israel, Baasha, began to fortify cities along the border. This was indication that he was preparing for war. Now, Asa, instead of seeking God, as he had done earlier, he took the treasures from the temple and bribed the king of Aram to break his treaty with Israel. The tactic was successful in that Baasha gave up his plan to attack Judah. Now then, if you perceive or unfold the reality happened henceforth, it was not a success in the eyes of God, but it was a success in the eyes of Asa. Which means a feeling generated out of human perception but not endorsed by God. So God sent Hanani the seer with these words of instruction. Had Asa forgotten how God helped him when he was small and unsure of himself? Even when Hanani confronted Asa with the words sent from God, Asa didn't heed to that and ignored the help God gave him conveniently based upon his success. Similarly, we at times tend to feel we've succeeded at times in our life considering our own assertions, which more often than not are relatively compared to our fellow human beings or the society. But now here is a caution from this episode of Asa. See, when overlooked God's help, he faced and came down with a disease to his feet. Now, at least he should have prayed to God for his healing, but yet again he ignored God's help, but only sought help from the doctors. That resulted in his death. See, if we can decode the real message from this, it is but inevitable, no matter how much well equipped we are in this physical world, without God, everything comes tumbling down to zero or void. As was the case with Asa. You see, Asa's legacy was a good one, but it would have been better, even better, if he had stayed dependent on God. Remember always, as in the verse, God is always searching the earth to find hearts fully committed to him. Those are the hearts he strengthens. So sometimes we attain immediate success, but because we did not do things God's way, we end up with long-term problems. Comprehend this fact and inculcate the habit of seeking God's consent in all of the enduring aspects in which you indwell upon. See, always be conclusive that as God blesses your life, recognize that strength is from Him. Stay fully dependent on God, and our mediocre assertions may fall flat when not backed by God's will, and that's an ultimatum to which we all do need to assimilate with. కనుక ప్రిలారా, నీ యొక్క ప్రతి ఒక్క అడుగు దేవుని యందు విధేయతగా సమర్పించి నీ యొక్క ఇహలోకపు ప్రయాణాన్ని కొనసాగించులాగున దేవుడు మనందరినీ దీవించునుగాక. ఆమేన్. I starkly believe we all unhook our worldly assertions and nail our hearts to mighty God's grace and His will so as to lead a life which is acceptable in the sight of our Heavenly Father forever and ever. Amen. Well, as always, be a diligent follower of Jesus Christ. For any prayer request and personal counseling, you may well call to my number 8688350999. And also, I would like to request all of you to save water, electricity, and avoid using plastic or polythene products in order to save the topography of our earth. Well, this is Hans, CIM. Have a blessed day. Thank you so much.